Hi. I'm going to show you a couple quick things that I'm going to be talking about in the session, or that I talked about in the session. Mainly it has to do with the settings key here. Click on that and you get to settings. This stuff is fun too, play around with that if you want to, but I'm going to focus on settings. Inside here on general, I think the number one thing that you probably would want to look at is, where did it go? Here, undo send, enable undo send. Yeah, it does what you think it does. So if I hit compose, and I'm writing it to, and I hit send, this pops up, undo. So now I've stopped it from sending. How great is that? So if you don't have that turned on, turn it on now. Do yourself a favor, because we've all been there. Another thing, if we go to settings, that you should look at is this idea of labels. If you don't have labels, I have a ton of labels. I need to delete most of them. But anywho, the labels that I have that I'll talk about later is that I use as action, completed, decision made, resources, and review decision. You can set labels up on that label one. Again, as much as you want. If you want to show or hide them. And then the other thing I wanted to show you is this whole idea about filters and blocked addresses. So what you want to do is you can tell Gmail, I'm going to create a filter. So if anything from, let's say, my lovely wife, I'm going to select a filter with that. What happens is I can star it. I can choose to apply a label. Forward it, delete it. I have a lot of things. So now, if I ever get an email from Diana, it'll automatically get starred. The other thing good too is if you do use the categories, these different categories like I do in my email, you can say you want it showing up on a certain one. Because there was a time where I was getting all of my notifications that a file had been shared with me was going to like promotions or updates, and I don't check those very often, so I was missing a lot of things. So then I said to put all of those in my personal, so now it just does that. So play around with that, it's good stuff. Oh, okay, and the final thing, again, look through these things. If you don't know they're here, click on them and go. There's a lot of cool stuff. I'm just not going to go into a lot of it. There's this idea of labs. This is all experimental stuff that could disappear at any time. I like the Google Calendar gadget because it puts my calendar here. There. Did it come up? Okay, yeah, there. So my calendar's here too. So that's nice. And there's a bunch of other stuff that I don't necessarily need, but some people might need. So check them out. Good stuff. Love Google. And if you click on offline, you can install Gmail offline. And what that does is if you are offline, you can write an email. And when you get back online, it'll send it. So if you're on the go, you can do that. Or if your internet is awful, you can do that too. Okay, I think that's about it for Gmail and the settings tab. Ciao.